Hello friends, so welcome back. In this video we are going to create the post detail page, the start page that will allow us to read the post in detail. Okay, so to do that, but before we do that, there is something that we need to correct. You see this image so long like this because there's something that is wrong that we need to correct. So what we need to do, we need to go to main post. Okay, so we have this image. All right, what we need to have there is objects dot container. Okay, so we go back now. All right, so it's the image. It's correct like this. It's no longer long the way it was before. All right, so as promised, we are going to create the post detail page. So we go to page. In the post folder, let's create this file that we call posts details page .js. Okay, so wrath as usual to create this page. Okay, we have this page. So let's go first to app to create a root for this page. So what we'll do here is take this and duplicate it. Then the path will be posts dash slug. So here we'll put posts details page. All right. Okay. So it will be like this. So when we press the link, we should go to post detail, and this is the post detail. All right, so we look at the address here. We have post, and this church must help elect good leader. That is the slug. Okay, so what we do now is to develop this page to make it nice. So we'll go back to post detail page. We need to surround this with layout, the layout component that we created in our previous lesson. All right, so in this layout now, first of all, we need to create the helmet. Now to create, but we add the helmet so that there will be a title. So the title will be, before writing the title, first of all, we must import a hook from React router done. So it comes slug that with this structure equal to use params. Okay. So let us log it use param to see what is in it. Okay, not use param but slug. Let us console log slug. So go back. Let's open the console. We have, you see, so this thing that we hide here, with this it here, church must help. Okay, that is the slug. So what we need to do now, use effect. First of all, let's create a state. Sequence story, so post is set posts is equal to use states. Okay, first it should be null. So we'll go to use effects, say use effect, which is also a hook that we imported from a React. So say, yeah, we need to add the empty array first. So what we say cons story, we just call it story, dummy post find. So that means we want to find a storage with a slug is equal to this slug that we have gotten from the address bar here. So what we do, find is a function from JavaScript. We say x dot slug is equal to this slug. So this will refund a story. If this story exists, this will be the story. If it does not exist, this will be null. All right. So what we do is set posts. We put story in it. Okay. Now we use this dummy story. This is now a dependency. This is a dependency, the slug. Okay. So we put here slug as a dependency. Also set post, which is another dependency. So let's remove this console log. Now, what we'll do here now in the title, we'll say posts dot title. Let's put the question mark here so that it will be protected. So we go now to this page, look at the title. Let's see, maybe load this. All right. So when you look at the title, you have here the standard bearer. This is the title here. The title, it is already here. So now we can start this. Okay, so what we do now, we add div here after the elements. We call it flex, justify between. All right, in this div we have another class ddn. Okay, we have hidden. All right, so this hidden, so this will be hidden if it's a small screen, but in the middle screen it should be blocked. That means that it should appear. In the medium screen, the minimum width 25%. Okay, in the here we put a hashtag there, header. So class name will be wants py to be 5 px. I think you already know what is the meaning of py and px because we have been doing this a lot. py5 is the padding top will be 5 and the padding bottom will be 5, and the px is a x-axis, so right and left. So the padding right will be 3 and the padding on the left will be also 3. All right, so the color of the text will be the background, rather the pg. We will say teal 600 or 700, and the text should be white. All right, the font should be bold, and the font size should be 3XL, should be rounded 3XL to XL. So what we have here, similar stories. That is the story that we are going to read here. It's those stories that are similar to this story. Okay, so this is the first one. So we have done this. When you come out here and add another div, okay, this div we see w. Okay, open this like this. Now after the full, we see medium screen should be max width should be 75%. Let's write 73% because there will be a gap between the two columns. So we have shadow md. So within this now we'll add a h1. Okay, the h1 we also have the classes. So the class name here we have the same py. Let's copy this and put over there. Okay, let's copy this one and we put it here. All right, so but this, okay, yes, it is it. So here now we write, we'll put post dot title, and don't forget to put the question mark here, so that if post is null, it will not throw an error. All right, so after this hashtag, we need to add now another div, class name px3 pt, that is padding top 3, sorry, and the padding bottom will also be, let's say, 6 here. All right, in this div we will add the image of the story. So what we do here, sorry, I will say posts dot images, and we want to take the first image, and let us also add a question mark here so that it will not throw an error if the post is null. So okay, the class name, let us style the image, so we say the width should be full. Okay, and the objects cover. So after the image now we add another div, we say text gray 700. All right, in here in this div we have the post dot body. All right, so this is how the post detail page will look like. But that is not all. There are so many things that we add as we continue to build this application. So let us go and see what we have here. All right, I don't know why this warning is keep showing. Okay, maybe it should be one of these dependencies that we highlight. That should be the reason why it's appearing. Okay, so this is the, now we need to correct something here. Okay, So this is the image, this is the story. So if we go to lesser screen like this, for example, the left side should disappear. You see, now it is only the story that we are seeing. So we continue this, the birds, this page in our next video. Thank you. Hello friends, welcome back. So we are going to continue to style the post details page. Alright, the first thing that we need to remove here is PT3 palette top. Remove it from here, and also this rounded, it shouldn't be rounded all over, but only on the top. Okay, the top edges should be rounded. Okay, so when we go back there now, this will. Okay, so this is how I want it to be. Okay, and this should be like this. This should be like this also. Okay, no, this should be like this. So we'll go back here. This is the same thing here. So we'll put a T, that is top, dash 3XL. And also this body is not correct. Or it is the PX3. It should move from here. Okay, so let's go back here now. All right, okay, so I want the image to use to test these two edges. Okay, so to be filled here. Now there should be a pattern here and not here, so it is there that we'll put the PX3. So we'll go to this div that has the body. So right here we'll see PX3. All right, and yes, let's go and see it now. Okay, that is how I want it to be. So we continue to design this as we continue to add or to build this application. There will be, for example, a date when the post was created, the author of the posts, you know, and the category of the post and the country of the post. All those things will be added. Okay, but first of all, we need to go and refactor our codes. You see the home page is so charged. We have all these things. So we need to change something here. So to do that, we go to components post. So in the post category here, where is components posts in the post category. So we come here. So instead of putting post here, we'll put category. Okay. So we want to refactor this. So what we see, we'll say cons post set post equal to pluralize use states. Okay, so this is where we continue an array. Okay, so what we need to do is use effects. So in this use effects, all right. So we'll say cons stories equal to dummy story dot filter. Okay, x such as x dot category is equal to this category that we enter as a prop. All right, so what we do now is set posts. We'll put this story that will return stories. All right, so it's this post nuts that we use so here. All right, so we have post now. So this is a prop that this post category has now. All right, let me see if this error is gone. Okay, it is gone. So we'll go to the home page. Let's do home page. We'll go to home page. Home page, where is it? Okay, well, this is the home page. So what we need to do now, this is the post category. It no longer has the posts as a prop, but it has category as a prop. So this category is an array. Okay, so it is this category, which is a politics. So copy this, we'll add it here, and we'll remove this. All right, so we'll do the same thing for the rest of the categories. We'll take this, we'll add it here. So here it will be sports, and we'll copy this here. We'll copy it. We add it here. We'll replace it with this. Okay, take a category in technology, copy, and replace the post here. Okay, we'll take education, and we'll replace the posts. Okay, we'll take the society. Okay, I'll replace this post. All right, now we'll go to the top. We'll remove all those things starting from here. Only leave the this one, title, post title. So remove all those things. We no longer need them starting from here. Okay. All right. So you see how the home is clean. So let's look at here. They say React hook use effects contain a call to set posts without it. So that means we need to add this dependency. This is where in post category. First of all, let's see if it works. So go back home there. You see, okay. So we have this post here now, but the home is now clean. We don't have so much, think in this use effects. Okay, it is clean. So let's see the claim that is here. We see what we should hide to this. Where's use effects? Oh, this is a bad mistake. Whenever you use effects, you should hide this dependency. If not, let's see, will be continuous loading. Okay, so here we have this set post that is a dependency. We need to hide here, and also this category. We add it here also. So we go back. So this one is no longer showing. So we have a clean console here. So we have successfully refactored our codes. Now the home page is clean and neat. Okay. So we continue to build this app in our next video. Thank you. Hello friends, welcome back. In this video, we are going to create the login and the sign up pages. So we go to Visual Studio Codes, okay? And now here in the page folder, we are going to create a new folder called off, okay? In the off folder, we created this file that we call sign in, okay? .js, and we'll write here RAF. So we have here the sign in page. We'll create another file that we call sign.js. All right, in RAFC, we have the sign up page that we go back to app. Yeah, that we want to create the route for the pages that we just created. So this will be the route will be sign. Let's say login. It will be here sign in page. Here we write say register, and here we'll say sign up. We put a sign up page here. So normally when we press this, we should go to sign in and we press this. Oh, this which is doubles the length there. So we go to bar, we come to header, and here we have sign up. You see the sign up, we still have login. It's supposed to be register here, and sign in should be login. Okay, so now we go, you see, we come to sign in, and this we're going to sign up. All right, so after you have created this, let's go and install two packages in our app. The first one is called Formic, and the second one is called Yup. So we say npm install Formic and also Yup. We press OK. So while Formic and Yup are installing, all right, let's go to sign in page. We'll remove this. Okay, remove this here. Now these two packages have successfully been installed. We need to create an initial state here that we call initial values is equal this objects email. To sign in, the user will need an email. Initially is empty, and it also needs a password, which is also empty. So here we create a state. So say const user set user is equal to use state import into from React. Okay, use state from React. And the initial value for use state should be this initial value. So we have to say initial value. All right. And after doing that, we want to, so that means that the user now have this initial value. So we have the email and you have the password. Okay. But now we don't want to be using or to say user.email or user.password. We want to use password and email directly. So we need to destructure, say const, say email and the password is equal to user. In this package, as package in this div, we have the class name. So we want it to be flex. Let's first of all design this page, and after we add the functionality. So flex wrap, justify center, item should be center, mx auto, the margin on the axis, and x axis md. On the medium size, the width should be 40%. Let me add these classes here, and I will explain. On a small size should be 75%. No, the SM size, okay, small size. And if it is very small size, it should be filled, that would be 100%. And the background should be white. And the gap should be 2, shadow MD, padding 4, and the height should fit, and margin on a y axis should be 4. All right. So after that, we have the h1 tag, which take a list of classes. Just write here class name. Okay, so this also I will highlight a bit to explain, because we have been doing this, so we understand it now. So the text should be center, and the font size should be 3XL, and the color of the text should be text till 700, and padding x3, padding y2. All right. So here what we have, we say welcome to ES24. E24. But instead of saying E24, our app name is Glory Info. So we say Glory Info. All right. And we also need to change that. Let's go to app bar, app intro, where we have E24. Let's write Glory Info. So here also Glory Info News. Glory Info News. Okay. That was the parentheses. Let's go back to what we're doing. Sign in. So we have Glory Info here. So after this hashtag, now we had Formic. We just install. So we import the Formic, and in this Formic, we had this value, parentheses, another parentheses. We'll destruct us to values here, and we'll return in the HTML form. So we'll say form, and this form also comes from Formic. It's here, Formic. Close down here. All right. So in this form now, we can have the input. All right, the inputs. But what we need to do, we are going to create, custom inputs. So when we go back there down to the, where is our app? Sign in. This is sign in. Okay. So we need to, what they say here? Initial value is not defined. Okay. We'll make a childish error here. It should be const. Okay. Now we'll go back here. Okay. This is a sign in. Okay, this is a Glory. Welcome to Glory Info, and this is the inputs. But what we need to do, because this input will be used for the email, for the passwords, and in the sign up will be used also. So instead of repeating the same code over and over, we are going to create one custom inputs components that we use everywhere. So we'll do that in the next lesson. Thank you for listening. See you later. Hello friends, and welcome back. In this video, we are going to create the custom inputs, okay, for this app. So we go to a component folder. We create a folder that we will call inputs. And this inputs will create a file called input.js. So this is our component. So here we'll say ref. All right, this is the inputs. So it will take some props. Prop will take say dot. We are spreading the props. See dot we spread. It means that the value, we are spreading the values. Okay, so this input we have here. The first thing that we have here is a const field meta. These are the objects. These objects come from Formic. Use feeds from Formic, and it will take the prop that we just enter. This meta, it is called mina. Okay, now what we need to do is to return. We have return here. So instead of return the div, let it be empty. Okay, so it should be fragments. So in between these fragments, we are going to create an input tag. The type will not be text here. It will be a dynamic value. It will be field.type. We also have a name. The name also is field, very correctly. Field.name. Okay, and we spread the rest of the fields, and we also spread the rest of the props. All right, and we need now to design it using a class name. So class name, we add a backtick. The width should be fill, that is 100%. Padding Y2, padding X8, border 2. Okay, rounded MD. The background slate 100. All right, and the focus background white. And after that, we are going to add dynamic classes, dollar and curly braces. So what we are seeing is meta dot touch. That is, if the inputs are being touched, that means that you tap in the inputs, you click in it, that means the inputs are being touched. All right. So, okay, so that we are talking about the inputs here in this case. So we're saying meta.touch. If the inputs are being touched and there's an error, so we'll say int meta.error, then we want this class to be applied. If there's no error, we want this class to also apply. So what we want to do here, if the inputs are being touched and you move away without writing, we want you to know that this field is required. So to give a visual indication is to make the border of the input to be red, to know that there is an error. So we see border red 600. Okay, but if there's no error, the border should be slate 100. The outline, this color, this mirror 300. Okay, this color. All right. So if there is an error, for example, it is an email input, and you didn't write a correct email, so it will show this error because you have touched it and there is an error. All right. After that, after the inputs, we also want to show an error message. So curly braces. So the same thing here, meta.touched and meta.error. And this error will be meta. Okay, oh, it's not supposed to be here. We'll remove. Okay, this would be there, but it should be and here. Okay. So here's the meta dot error. We need to style. So the class name will say the text should be red 600. So this is our inputs that we have created, the custom inputs. Now we need to use this input with all these classes. Now we want to add later on another prop here that we call is label. Okay, but that is later. But for now it is alright like this. So we go back to the sign in page. So instead of input here, we are going to write this inputs that we created. We import it from component input folder. So we say the type is this. The name should be email, and the name will be email. No, the text should be email. The tab is email, and on change. We'll create here. We'll go. We'll say handle change equal e. All right. What we need to do? So here we'll say handle change. So we will let's go see our app now. So we press, so we see. So this is how the input will be. So this is for the email. Let's break this one down. see for the passwords, something we also forget the placeholder equal email address, and here the placeholder will be passwords. They had it here, passwords. Okay, so go. Okay, so it seemed like it is not appearing, so we had it. This is not correct. Okay, now it is appearing. So we have email and we have the password. So we continue this in our next video. Thank you for watching. Let's try and validate this input. So to validate this input, we are going to create a function that we call validate equal to. So that we need to import. Yup, we imported form maker from here. So say import everything as yup. This is how we can import yup from yup. Validate equal to yup dot object. Okay, so the object will contain an object. So here we want to validate the email. Okay, so say email dot string. So yup dot string, which is a function email, and it is require. All right, this is an email field. Okay, so it is require. So if we leave it like this, yup will give a default message when there is an error. Okay, but you can also supply your own error message if you want. But I'm satisfied with the message, the default message by yup. So I can leave it like this or add whatever message that you want to add there. So after the email, you have the passwords. The password, you see yup dot string is a string, which is a method or function. You require. Okay, now also we can validate the length. So we can say mean. The minimum should be maybe 6 characters and the maximum should be maybe 22. Okay, now we go to, so it is, we go now to formic. So formic should have some prop here. The first one is enable reinitialize, which is equal to true. After that, we have validation schema. This is the validation schema. The validation schema equal to this validate. You can give whatever name that you want to give here, but I call it validate. So validate. And what also needs is the initial values. So this initial values, we want the email and the password. All right, so now let's see if it is validating. So if I click, I'll move away. Okay, now it is validating. Okay, see, so email is required. All right, so maybe let's write something that's okay. Let us first of all add the unchanged. So this, let's come here, say const name and the value equal to the e dot target. Okay, and we'll say set user. We want to spread the user. Okay, and the name we give the value of the value that we have in it. So here we say unchanged. All right, now maybe this hook now, so we can type. Okay, see, there's your, you see email must be valid. Even though, okay, if nothing is there, we move away, we say email is required. When you write something there and it's not the correct email, you say email, it must be valid. And let's write a weird email. This is, and move away, it is correct. And also the passwords. Okay, let's move away from, you see what it is working. Okay, password is required. And we'll add something there that is not 6 character. You see password must be at least 6 characters. So we had 6 there. Now let's take more character. Move from there and see password must be at most 22 characters. So that is the message that we have having. That is what I believe that these messages are. All right. Okay, but the problem that we have here now, if nothing is here and nothing is here, okay, and there's an error, you see the inputs become short like this. I don't know why, so we need to go and correct this. So that means the validation is working, and let's see if the unchanged is working also. So what we need to go to unchanged, we write here, we'll see console log what user. So we'll see if it is working. So we go to the console, here. So okay, so it's changing here. It's also changing. So unchanged is working. So our inputs, custom input is working. So what we need to do now is to correct what is wrong with this thing. All right, so we do that in the next video. Thank you for watching. Hello friends, welcome back. Okay, in this video we are going to correct this, this error that we have. So let us go back to Visual Studio Code. The first thing that we need to add is to start this form. Okay, so we have the class names here. We'll see it should be W fill flex column and gap full. Okay, so when you go there, okay, this is what we have. And the next thing that we need to do is to remove this one here, because it's no need that it should be here. We remove this one, we remove the gap 2, I think so. Okay, so that is it. Okay, and then now the background should be white. I thought we highlight it here, so we see BG white. Okay, this is what we have now. So now if we refresh it and nothing is there, all right, so it appears correctly now. And so the next thing that we need to hide is the submit button. Okay, so we are going to add the button there. So say button, we're going to start it, class name, tab is submit. If you want, you can create this component for button, right? And because we use it in the login and sign up pages, so we can create this as a component, but I will put it here. Okay, so what we have here is okay, the class, and the width will be fit, font bold, text will be white. All right, so font bold is already here. W fits, font bold, text HG, PX5, LG. If it's a larger screen, the PS should be 20, PY2, rounded, top left and top right. So let's see what we have. Okay, the button is there, but it's white. So the background. Okay, so the background we given according to what we have here. So we put curly braces here. All right, in in all these things we put it in a back tick, and we'll remove this from here. All right, and here now this is dollar sign, because we are going to add it to here. Okay, so there's something they call it submits, and it's submitting and is valid. That is here. We need to supply here. Therefore, formic. When you press Control space, you have this value. So we have here a submitting and also is valid. So if the form is submitting, this is submitting becomes true. If after it is submitted, it becomes false. Okay, and also valid as we validate the form. If the form has an error, then its valid is what? False. But if there's no error, its valid is what? True. That means the form is valid. So what we are going to say here is that if the form is valid, so it's valid. If the form is not valid, if the form is not valid, or if the form is submitting, it means that you just click the button and the data is being submitted. So it's submitting. We want this class to apply. Okay, if not, we want this class to apply. Okay, so the rest of the classes will apply always, be it valid or not. So if it is not valid or it's submitting, we want the background to be gray 400. Okay, we want the cursor to be not allowed. Where is it? Not allowed. We want the text to be black. Okay, the text to be black. But if it is valid, okay, so it should be, the background should be till 800, and the text should appear white. All right, dynamic value that we had on this class. So we go back there to we appear. Now we need to write the button. We write it submits or sign in. So we go there. All right. So if I tap here, go back, you see since it's not valid, there's an error. So it appears like this in the cursor. This is not allowed. All right. And what we need to do now is to disable it. If so, we have the same thing here. We'll see it should be disabled. See, disable. It is submitting or it is not valid. It's submitting or it is not valid. So it should disable. So no way to add or to send any data to the server. All right, but what if it is valid now? Okay, add the password. Now you can add the, and now it's submitting, so it turn like this. Okay, so let's see here. We are showing a password. So this will be passwords. So the type of this will be password. So that's okay. Email. Okay, now it's shown like this. All right. So this is what we have, and we need to add some icon here, and also the icon that will toggle the state of this password input. So what we need to do, we need to surround this with a div. We'll say div, put this in a div. The same way here too, div, and we'll put this in a div. Okay, so the first thing that we want to have here is the icon. This icon, we call it outbound mail. So this is here. We import it from React icons, and here it will be what fi lock goods. It's also imported from React icon fi. This AI, and the last one we want to put there is where it is in this or the div. Yeah, we call it IMI. It does want to import, and also we have the IMI block. This we need to import it manually because it refers to import. So we copy this and go on tab. Copy this down, duplicate it down, put it here, and here we see I am. Okay, and we also have all right, so we go now. Let us see. So we have this icons that we need to place at the appropriate place. First of all, this div, the class, should be relative, and this one, a class, we can say class name. Okay, first thing we need to do is say top 3 or 3.5, and most especially it should be absolute. If not, it will not work. Okay, it is here now. Okay, we'll do the same thing for this one. This black. All right. The reason being, we didn't add class relative. This is why he relative, because that means that the icon is not relative to this div. So we'll go back now. We see the icon somewhere here. Okay, then this one should be somewhere here also. We had class there too. Where is it? Let it be so like this. Class name and the class name. See it. Okay, all of them will be here. So what we need to do now is to add left and the right. Left, let's say left. So here we see left, right minus 2, and see what we have. Now left, right. It's going to be right. Now left, right. All right. What do we have? It comes here, and this one also right 2. It also comes here. All right, but both of them will not appear the same time. So we add a hook. Let's say state here. We'll say cons is password, set is passwords equal use state. Okay, first we'll say true. All right, so what we need to say here now, we'll put this in a parenthesis first. Wow, you go so fast. So you say if is password, we want this to appear, this one, or if it is not password, we want this one too. All right, so we need to go. All right, so only one is appearing. So if it is password, let's see if it is not passwords. We want the cross to appear first if it is not password. Okay, so what? Okay, sorry, I had some interruption. So what we need to do now is we come here. The tab, it will not be always password, so we'll put it there. In the curly braces, we say if its passwords, if its password is true, we want the tab to be a password. But if its password is false, we want the tab to be a simple text. Okay, so to toggle the value of the passwords, add on click on both of them. You can even put all of them in our class. Let's say class of div, but let's do it like this also. And set is passwords, the opposite value of is passwords. So we take the same on click here, we add it here. All right, so if there's no error, let's go and see there's no error. Okay, so the value are correct. So we'll do like this. Okay, you see it toggling. Okay, toggling. So the other thing that we need to add here, this should be a cursor. So see, the cursor should be a pointer rather. So it will be cursor pointer. We take this thing, we go hide it up here. Okay, also. All right, and we'll go back to the inputs. We want the padding here on the axis to be 8. We put 8 here so that the placeholder will now. Okay, so this one we have, there will be a space between this and what you are going to write. Okay, and this should be pushed on the right a little bit. So what we are going to say here, let's go back to sign in. So top 3.5 and left, and here also is also the same thing, left 2. Okay, if you want, you can do all these things in the custom inputs. Okay, we can put it here. It will be the same. So now it is far away from the edge of the input. So this is our button. Okay, this stylish button. You see, we also created the sign up page, but it's the same thing. What we need to do now is just to copy and paste. So here in the sign up, we'll just take this, we copy everything in the root, everything here, and we come to sign up and we paste it here, and it starts importing. So it imports forming, we import form and forming, we continue I block, we import it, we import we import the input, our custom input that we created. We import frlog, import the outline email icon. We are already imported form and forming. Okay, so where's it? Alright, so let's do this. Import this forming. Forming import form. Wait, this is not the correct one. It's not this form that we want. We want the form from from forming. So it's a form. We go back to sign in. We'll take this value, the initial value, let's add it here, sign up, initial value, we had some value there, we'll go back again, we'll take where am I? Sign in, okay, sign in, we'll take all these things, copy it, we'll go to sign up, we add it here. Alright, and you'll see we need to also import yup and use states. So come to sign in, go to sign in, we import yup and React. Alright, so we have here and we see there is no error. Okay, so let's complete this. We have the email with the password words, but for sign up we should also have the username. So we add username here. We should also initially is an empty string. All right, so here we have also the username. Okay, username. So the user will have the username, and also in the unchanged. Okay, no problem here. We come to validate. We also validate the username. Duplicate this. We'll say username. Username is not a email, so we remove this. We want to say it is required. And we'll go to format. In the initial value we had username. All right, and I think it is no, it's not all. What we need to do now is to duplicate this div, and top up here we'll say username as a name. Username, you'll say username as the placeholder. And unchanged is the same thing, and we'll also need to change this icon. Let's call user. Is any icon of user? FA user. You see. All right, FA user. We imported from FA. Let's see React icon, and we can go and see the sign up. All right, so we have the username, we have the email, and also the password. And here we see sign up. So we go down to the button, we say here, so sign in, we say sign up. All right, so for now this is what we have, but it is not all we want. If you come here and you are already logged in, and let's say you already have an account, so we want you to go to login page. So we can say here p tag, we'll say let's sign up, we say already have an account. Okay, it's account, it's not account. We'll say what login. So here we'll add a link from React router term, and we'll see log in. Is this, you go to login. So the same thing, will bring it here to sign in after the button. So after the button, we'll say don't have an account, sign up, and here it will be register. register. All right. Okay, so this is what we have. Oh, this now you put the link in here. So here, let's go in tab or control space link for React router done. All right, so it is not imported. So this is what we have. So when you press this, we go to log in. You press this, you go to sign up. All right, so we need to, at least show that it is a link. So we need to add a class here. So see class name. Text should be blue at, let's say 800. So let's take this class. We go to sign up or do the same thing here. All right, it be blue. Okay, log in, sign up, log in, sign up. All right, so this is what we have now. We have created our 2 pages. We continue to add functionality on these pages, okay, in our next video. Thank you for listening. Okay, hello friends, welcome back. On this video, we are going to hook this application to Google Firebase. So we'll open Firebase. So we'll go to Firebase. Okay, we are using Firebase as a backend. So when you register here, we want the information to be kept. So remove this here, bring this up like this. All right, so we'll come to Firebase. You should have an account with Google, all right, and you navigate to firebase.google.com. all right, this here, and this is where you land. And when you are here, you go to console, either console or you say get started. So let's press get started. Now it is opening. All right, so this is what we have. This is the application that I have. Those are going to create a new project. So add project. I say Glory. I will call it. Enter your project name. Say Glory Info. Okay, Glory Info. Okay, let's go here. Remove this. We don't want to. For now, Google Analytics will say create projects. So the project is being created. Okay, it will take a longer time, a bit, maybe 1 or 2 minutes. I don't think that will reach 2 minutes, maybe 1 minute or 60 seconds like this. So it's being created. All right, I think this will pass 1 minute. Okay, so it is created. So we say continue. All right. Okay, so this is it here. So what we need to do now, we have this. If it is a Apple, iOS application, you can use this button. If it's an Android, you use the button. If it is a web page, you use that button, website rather. This is for the game Unity and Flutter, but we are using web app. So we click here. You see register. So we want to register our app here. So we want to add the nickname. We say Glory. We got it, Glory. All right. We do the hosting, the Firebase hosting later. So we say register. So as we press register, it's being created rather. All right. So we have these things that we need to add. But first of all, let's install this Firebase on the application. Let's copy this and go back to the Visual Studio Codes and paste this command line here, and we install Firebase. So while Firebase is being installed, we go back, we copy this, okay, here, everything, and so we go back to Visual Studio Codes, and at the root of the Visual Studio Codes, let's say the source folder, we want to create a file that we call firebase.js. So in this firebase.js, we want to add paste what we copy over there just now. So we have the API key, we have of domain, we have a project ID, we have the storage bucket, we have the message sender ID and also the app ID. All right. So if we, okay, let's solve. Okay, so it is installed now. So what we need to do now, we need to initialize. So the app is initialized here, but what we need to import from. Okay, so here we should have say Firebase Firestore. So we need to add Firestore here, Firestore. Okay, and here what we want is get Firestore, and here we'll export this. We'll say export const db equal to get Firestore. In this we take app. All right, my code editor is facing some problem. All right, so we say const div db, that is our database, to get Firestore that we imported from here in Firebase Firestore. All right, so this is that will allow us to to register or to add data in the Firebase Firestore. Okay. All right, so we have added or created the application of Firestore backend. So this our application will be hooked to Firestore. So we can use this now Firestore as our backend for this application. All right, so let's go and see the check last time. So we'll go back to the content to the console. So we have here. So what we need to do now is to activate the authentication. So what we say get started. So we want to use email, password. Yeah, all of you can use like a Google, the social medias like Facebook, GitHub, Apple, Yahoo, Twitter, Microsoft. But what we need to use here in this application is email and password. So we click here and say enable. So save. All right. So that means that we email and password is enabled. So here we don't have any user now, but if we have the user, we register, the user will be here. And also we added, Firestore Firebase here. So we also click here. This is a Firebase of database for Firestore database. So we say create a database. Okay. So it's creating our database. Okay. For now, we'll take the test modes. That is the default security rule for test modes allow anyone with your database reference to view, edit, and delete all data in your database for the next 30 days. So we say here, allow, read, write if the request time is before February 28th, that's 30 days. So for now it is okay because for now it's okay. Okay, so here also after you have set this location, you cannot change it later. Also, this location setting will be the location for your default cloud storage bucket. So we am in Africa, so we're going to use the data center that is closer to Africa. For example, let's say London. Yes, London. So I use this. That's Europe West 2, London. So we'll say enable. All right. So we are creating our database where we store our data, the storage, the users that we log in. Okay, will be on this, cloud Firestore. All right. So we have successfully created this. And there's one more thing that we need to add is the storage, because we are going to create images, add images. So it should be stored. Yes, we'll say get started. We also start in the test mode, same thing. Say next. We have all asked. It will be the same location as we want, but let's say done. All right. Create a default bucket. Take a longer time. All right. So this is what we have. In our next video, we are going to continue to add the functionality to our application. Thank you for listening. Hello friends, welcome back. In this video, we are going to add create an account functionality. We have already created the sign up, the sign in pages. So we want to, as somebody puts the information, the username, the email, and the password, we say sign up one information to be stored on the Firebase Firestore of authentication. So that's what we are going to do. So this functionality we're going to add in this application. So what we want to do here first is to create a API folder. Say API, this folder called API. In this API folder, we are going to create a auth API folder also. Say auth. Let's say auth one time. And in this auth, we create auth API. A file is called auth. Okay. Say auth. Okay. .js. All right. So in this auth, what we want to do, we want to import some things from Firebase auth. Okay, so we say import parenthesis, curly braces from Firebase auth. Okay, so what we want to import here, it is create user with email and passwords. We want to import get off. We want to import sign in with email and a password. Where is it? Sign in with email and a password. This one. We also want to import update user profile. Update profile. This. Okay, we also want to import some other stuff from Firestore. So say import this from Firebase Firestore. All right. So what we put here? We want to import doc. Okay. We want to import set doc. We want to import server timestamp. And the last thing that we want to import is the DB database that we created ourselves. So from go back again from here. Where is it? Firebase JS. Yeah. All right. So the first function that we are going to write here. First of all, let's see, const of equal to get auth. Okay, so we'll be using this auth. So the first thing we do is we're going to create this function. We'll say register. We are going to call this. We are going to call it register user. All right. So this it will be async. It will take user data as a parameter. So say try and cache. So what we need to do here, we'll say const user credentials equal to a weight. We'll say well, create user with email and a password that we imported excuse here. And this will take 3 arguments. Okay, 3 arguments. The first one is the auth that we have here. So we say auth. The second one is the email. So we get the email here in this variable. So say the parameter, say user data dot email. All right, and you also get the password from there. So say user data dot passwords. Is that a way to write password? Okay, passwords. All right, so it returns this return what? User credential. Okay, this is what we have here. User credential. All right, so when you do that, the user will be created in a Firebase authentication. All right, but what we need to do, we want to update the user profile, okay, with the username. So what we say here, we say await update profile that we import the update profile here. Okay, so what are you showing me here? Update profile. Okay, so this update profile, we take the of dot current user as the first argument, and the second argument is the data that you want to update. So what this is a display name. The display name here will be the user data dot username, because that's how we call it in the form. Okay, so after doing that, we want the user information to be kept in this Firestore database. All right, because if we only register, the user will be here, will be created here. If we don't do anything, it will only be here. So we will not have access to the user. All right, so to have access to the user from the database, we need to add the user in this Firestore Firebase. So we go back here to add the user there. So what we need to do, we'll say const user equal to user credentials dot user. See, you have to user here. All right, so we say await set doc. All right, the set doc is when you want to create data in the Firestore database. All right, we have add doc, you also have set doc. With add doc, the Firestore creates the ID automatically for the object that, or the document that you are creating. But with a set doc, yourself, you can provide the ID. So we want to provide the ID here because we want the ID that is in the authentication here be the same ID in database, because it's the same user, so it should carry the same ID. So that is why we are using set data. So this set data, we take doc as a document reference, and after document reference, we also want to add the data that we want to add. So in this document reference, first of all, you have the DB, that's a Firebase store, Firestore rather, Firebase Firestore DB, and we want to have a collection that is called users. And after this collection, we want to provide the ID, user ID, okay, UID. So what we do here, we say user dot UID. So that will be the ID for the user that we are going to create, or we are creating in the database. So here, what we send as data is a username that will come from user data dot username. Spell username correctly. We send also the email that will come from, let me copy this. Okay, user data dot email. And we also have rows, which is an array of row. The first row, well, the row that we had is a user. Anybody register is row is user. We have an admin row and moderator row and the user row. But if you create an account, you know, the row that you have is you are simple user, so you do not have the privileges that the admin and the moderator have. Okay, so after that, we have created ads. Don't hide it from email. Created ads, that is the date. Created ads here. So we take this function from Firestore. It is server timestamps. Okay. All right, so that's what we have. All right. So the ID is already here, so we need now to add it here. If we want to add, we can add it, but I think it is already like this. So username. Okay. So if there is an error, we want this to throw the error to the form. So we cache the error there. So throw error. All right. So this is what we have now. In the next video, we are going to hook, you know, this back end code to the front end, to the form. Thank you for listening. See you later. Welcome friends. In this lesson, this video, we are going to hook this backend to the form so that we'll be able to create accounts and store it in the Firebase Firestore. All right, so before we do that, we want to install some packages. So we'll say npm install. The first package that we want to store is called Toastify, React Toastify. And also the second package that we want to install is React Spinner. Okay, so Toastify in the React dash spinners. Okay, so see, let's go. So we install React Toastify in the React Spinners. All right, so React, both of them have been installed. So what we need to do now is go to the sign up page. All right, so we have Formic has another, prop that is called onSubmit. All right, so we are going to create onSubmit here. So we go up here. We'll say cons handle submits. All right, so we say E. First thing, the E, let's say to prevent defaults. All right, so prevent default. L first before T. Prevent defaults. All right, so we say try, and cache. So the first thing that we need to do is to call the function from the API. So we say this should be async. So here we say await. So await register user. Is it register? How did you call it in the here? Let's go to all file here. How you call it? Register user. So we say register user, and we have this user data. Okay. So what user data we have here? Here it is the user data we have here is this user. So we say user here, user. All right. Okay. So if this is created successfully, we'll do that later. Let's first of all see if Firebase is working. And now here also we are going to log any error that will occur here. So say error. We'll log the error here. Okay, we continue work on this, but first of all, let us see if this thing is working. So we take handle of submit, we supply it here. All right, so now we go to our application and see whether this thing is working. Okay, so let's continue. So let's go and see what we have. Let's go to our application. Now try to register. So here I have Valerie Kiran, that's my name. Email, that's email there, and the password. All right, so let me set it and see whether it's working or not. This is it submitting or what is it? Is it error? Okay. And I'm supposed to continue like this. If you finish submitting, it should come to the normal states. Okay, let's go and see if it is working. First of all, go to authentication. Nothing is here, so that means that the thing was now sent. We also have nothing here. So what is the problem? All right, so we had where is the button? Button is type. For the button tab, we say submit. Let me see if you have an error here. Was it sign in with? It's not declared. Okay, it's not used. All right. So maybe we have an issue. We are console log user. Let me see if the user. Okay, first of all, let me see here in the submit. Okay, submit. Let's see if the user is sent. So log. We see user. Okay, let's see. So we go back here. We'll come back here. We'll open the console. So we see errors. We see console. Let's go and see. Do like this. Do like this. All right. And unhandled error was cut from submit form. On submit is not on. So maybe this is not correct. It's not on submit. Okay, let's look at let me see. Maybe it's this user input we put we had it lately. Username unchanged. Email passwords. Okay, so what is the problem? Let's remove this and stay. And this. Okay, remove this. Press. Okay, and undo error was cut from submit form. Type of on submit is not a function. Wow. I need this app need to be restarted. Okay. Hello friends, welcome back. It seemed like our applications was a bit confused because this formic on submit is indeed a function. So let us maybe remove this e dot prevent default. Remove the e here. And one thing that we need to correct here, placeholder, it should be small h. Okay, here also placeholder small h. And here we do the third. There are three now. We sign up one. This is for the passwords. This is for the email and the username also. So we had a small h there. All right. So now we are going to try. Let's keep this one here and see. All right. So this is our Firebase database. Reload it. Okay. We have nothing there in the authentication. We also have nothing there. So we go back to our app. So after handle submit, we only remove the e dot prevent default. So let's go to handle submit. Let's go to our app application. All right. So let me add here my passwords. And press this button is disable. Now it's able. That means I finish submitting. So this is what we have. So information. And let's go check in the authentication. Let's go. We refresh this. And then we have now the email created here. So go in a database. In this database, we have the users collection that's created. We have this UID for the user and was created today, January 29, 2023 at 2:58. Okay. And this is the email and the row is user and the username is this name, Valerie Guyena. Now look at this ID. It's a THQE386. And let's go to authentication and compare it to this ID is a THQE386 and other things. So it is the same ID that is here that we have here. We didn't want to have a different ID. That is why we use in this application in our database. We use this set doc because we want ourselves to provide the user ID. Hello friends, welcome back. So now we can go to sign up. Firebase is working, we can create the user. So we want to tell the user that data is being sent. So the first thing we need to do, let's go to React Toastify. Okay, React Toastify. Let's take React Toastify. So we help us to React Toastify. Okay. So this is these are these toasts. Okay. So go to the documentation. We want to be colors bottom right. Okay, so we take this, we'll copy it. All right, then we go to app and we'll paste it here, and then we import toast container. All right, so import this toast container from React Toastify. Where is it? Okay, it's the toast container for React Toastify. All right, so we go to sign up now. Here, after we have created the user, we'll say toast we import toast from React Toastify doc success. So we are going to say user, let's say accounts created successfully. All right, but if there is an error, we don't want to console log. We want to say toast.error, and then we'll put the message in here. We'll say error.message. All right, so let's go and create the same account that we already have here. It normally should throw an error. So this email, let's already create this email. So it has a password. So if it is working, the error should show. So we press. We have an error here, but we didn't see Toastify. See the toast. So what was the problem? Oh, okay. The toast appeared, but it's very, very, very huge. And the reason is we need to copy this the CSS file, and we add it to we import it here. All right. Now let's go back there. Okay, see now it appears. So the error, this is the error that we have. Okay, and do it again. The Firebase, the error that is already in use. Okay, so if we can copy this, you not allow. So okay, so we need to add our own customized error message there. So first of all, let's look the error.message, and we'll know what kind of message is being sent. Okay, error message. So we go back here now, open the console. So we send the same thing, we get error here. Okay, so this is the error. So we'll copy this, go back to our app. So what we are going to say, let's remove this. So we're going to say if error is equal to this Firebase error of email already exists, we want you to say sorry, this email is already in use, so please try another one. Wow, it looks it's too long. Okay, we see. So we'll go back now. Let's close this down. Now we'll create the same thing. It's not error, it's error.message. Okay, if error.message equal this, then it will show this toast. So you remove this one. What do we now? Okay, sorry, this email is already in use. Please try another one. All right. Okay, so if the email is already created, this is what that is the message that will be. But let's create another account with different email. Let's say John Doe. So I say John at gmail.com. Remove the same thing. So we'll send it. Okay, account created successfully. So we go to the users. We already have a second user added here. We'll say John Doe with this user ID. We go to authentication. We also have this John at gmail.com with this user ID. So we have successfully created the user with our let's say that we have successfully added create user functionality to our application. That what we need to do now in our next video is to log in. Thank you. See you later. Hello friends, welcome back. In our last video, we were able to create or to add the create user functionality. So what we need to do in this application, not in the application, in this video is to sign in or log in. Okay, so we go to our API folder in the off.js. Now we have register user. What we need to do now is to create another function. We say exports cons login user. All right, in this function will also be async, and we take user data. It's export, not expect. Export, and say this arrow. Okay, so we also say try and cache. Okay, if there's an error, it should throw this error to the form. The form will handle the error. So what we need to do here, say await sign in with email and the password. Sign in with email and the password. So here we say user data dot email and user data dot password. But before that, we need to add the off. All right, the get that comes from get off is very much important. Okay, so that's what we have now. So that's all for the API. It's not, we are not adding any other data to the database. We are only sign in. So we go straight to sign in JS file. Now here we add on submit. So for me, see on submit. I hope today if now let us down. Okay, so we call this function handle submit. Okay, so let's go up and create a handle submit function. Say cons handle submit, which is on async, and it takes nothing. So say try and cache like the so here we say await login user. Is that how we call it? Yes, from okay, the type from the API. So here we have the user. All right. Okay. Sorry for the interruption again. So login user. All right. It should be await because it is a promise. And the error will say we'll console log the error after we add the React testify. So let's say error dot message. All right, so we'll go back to our app. Now we'll navigate to login. So this is the, okay, here we'll add the password and send it. Okay, we don't have any error there. Okay, let me see, put a fake password that is not correct and see. This is error, say Firebase error, the wrong password. Okay. All right, so that was the wrong password. And we put the wrong email, that because email does not, oh no, this here, the email that does not exist. This email does not exist in our database. So in sign in, you can see off user not found. Okay, so this is the error. So we are going to find the custom error message. So let's take this one first. Copy it. So we'll come here. We'll say if error message dot message, oh, no problem, is equal to this, or error dot message is equal to this. Let's do like this first and go back, login, error dot message. Okay, in case this email is correct but the password is not correct. Okay, that's what we want to, the message that we should have there. So I press here. Okay, so Firebase error wrong password. Copy this, go back. So put it here. It's not a summon. It is we are comparing. Okay, so if the error message is equal to this, or the error message is equal to this, we want the testify the error to be into this error to be wrong email or password. Email or password. All right, so we want that should be the message. So we go back here now, we remove this, press again. okay, wrong email or password because the password is not correct. Let me put the correct password there. Okay, you see no error is appearing. So if it is correct, we want to navigate to home page. So we are going to break in, use navigate the hook from React router DOM. So say const navigate equal to use navigate the hook from React. So we call it navigate. Wow, gate. All right, so if let me remove the console, if we are successfully logged in, we want to navigate back to the home page. So do like this. All right, so we go back here now, say correct email and correct passwords. Do like this. Go back to. All right, so this is what we have. All right, so thank you for listening. We continue our application, in the next series of video. Hello friends, welcome back. In this video, we do some housekeeping. We are going to improve the design of our application. First, we look at this slideshow. See this picture? There's no background. Okay, we want it to be white like this. All right, so what we need to do is to go to slideshow, and under here we have the text editor that we push like this. All right, okay, so we go to the component in the slideshow, the slide folder. We have a slideshow here. So what we need to do is to give a background color to this div here. Is it here? Slideshow. So we have here H21. Let us increase to H22. All right. And add a background that will be white. Let's say beachy white. Okay. And rounded MD to have a rounded border, and we'll say shad MD. All right, and what again? What do we need to add here? And padding, they should have a padding. So the padding will be P2. Okay, padding to P2. Top and bottom will be 2, or let's say 0.5 rem or 8 pixel, and right and left will also be 8 pixel or 0.5 rem. So we go to see this, what it gives. Okay, let me see. Okay, so this is the background, this white background I want us to have. Okay, so it is rounded, so we have rounded border here. We also want to fix this. You see, we want this background to cover the whole image, the length from here and here. Okay, we don't want it to overflow. You see, this is not nice. This is not nice. This like this, for example. So what we need to do, we go to this component that let's go to posts and the main post. So in this main post, we have this link. It's this link that has this background. But what we need to do, I think this link should be in this div that contains the image. So that we are going to push it up. So it will be in this div. Okay. And this div will be, let's see, relative. Okay. And instead of having this class here, we take it from here, and we surround this link with a div. All right, over div, and we have the class here, and we take this link and we put it in that div. Okay, all right, so let's go and see what we have first before we come back to continue. All right, so we have this div that it does not overflow. It is contained in the div. All right, but what we want, we don't want it to be short like this. We want it to cover the whole length or width. Okay, so we just say the width should be 100% or full. So W full. All right, and then we go there now. Okay, so that is the way I want it to. Okay, And what we also want to fix is this sidebar. Okay, to do that, we go to components. This is the layouts. We come to layouts and we try to fix this layout. Okay, so layouts here, we have this. We have hidden G block. Okay, background white. But what we need to do here, I think it's background white. Yes, shadow is all right here. There's no problem here. We'll go to, yes, let's go to the component itself, right side. So press F12. Okay, so here, okay, we want to give the background color here. So we say beachy white, okay, and rounded MD. We want to rounded border. Okay, we'll remove this. We'll just replace it by adding 2. Okay, and this H1 we have equals TV. We give a background to this. We'll say first the text should be center, first should be center. The background to be till 800. Okay, and the text to be white, and the padding py to be 2. Okay, like this. And this should have a height, so say ish 96. All right, okay, 896. And we want to have another div down here, so we'll break this down. Okay, and here instead of equals TV, we're going to write trending news. All right, after that we'll break this one down again, and we'll write recent news. Okay, and after the recent news, for example, we can also add international news. Okay, international. So whatever thing that you want to add that is international, it's left with you to design your app the way you want it. And here I'm going to put there, let's say, okay, commercial, that is advertisement. So commercials. Okay, so we go now. Okay, it's loading. Okay, trending news, the national news, commercial. Okay, and all right, so I think it is all right like this. Okay, and also we want to first of all, before we go there, I want to show you something. We got a politic, for example. You see these cards do not have the same heights, and this can distort the layouts. It is not beautiful. Everything should have the same heights. So we go to post, let's say postcard. All right, so this postcard, we want to give it a height, a definite height. Okay, so this height will be minimum. We'll come here. This is the first div. We have the relative. We'll say minimum height should be here in the scale brackets. We'll say 270 pixel, and also after the brackets we say shadow MD. All right, okay, so they have the same heights, and the number of lines here are many, that they reduce them. Okay, before that, yes, we'll do that. In the also the test is MD is to write SM. All right, in clamp 2, line clamp 2 to have 2 line maxi. All right, so yeah, okay, so here we put the author of the writer of the story, that's the author, but we don't have it now. Okay, but we do that when we get our stories from the database, from the Firestore database. Okay, I think it is all right like this. If there's something else to do, we get it, we do it. Okay, so let me see this, if this is working. You go to Côte d'Ivoire. Okay, these are the stories that have to be codified with the flag that are showing. Okay, and the something we keep forgetting is to send this our app to GitHub. Okay, so we open new another window here, terminal, and we'll say git add dot. So let me say git commit the message. What can I say? So we say housekeeping. We have it there, and we'll push it to the I don't even know if my internet is, but there should be a connection before we send it. We want to upload this thing to, let's see, okay, git push. Let me see if it will go. I do not have doubt the quality of this internet, so maybe it will go. Unable to access. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That is because the connection is very bad. Unfortunate, the connection is very bad. Open the browser and see how it looks like. Let me see this. It is slow. Okay, so we stop here. Maybe the internet will improve later. Thank you for listening. See you later. Hello friends, welcome back. After we have added create sign up functionality to our application, what we need to do now is to add the CRUD system on our application. So what is CRUD? CRUD is create, read, update, and delete. Alright, what we have been doing here is to use, we're using this data in this file. But what we want to do, we want to get the data from the back end, which is Firebase, the Firestore data. But before we get data from that, we need to send the data there, okay? So by using CRUDs. So what we are saying here is that we are going to create a page that will allow us to store data or to add data, to add stories or to add posts to the database. So that is the work of the administrator of the website, or let's say the moderator. Okay, so we are going to do that, and this will be a very long journey because there are so many things that we need to do to achieve this. All right, so we start by creating a custom select inputs. We have here the input that we created here, okay, but we also want to have add the custom select inputs, because we are going to use the drop down to choose the country, but also the categories of the story that we want to send to the database if we are creating the post. Okay, that means if, for example, we are creating a political post, we want to choose the category which is politic. If it is sports post, we want to use sport to be the category. We also want to choose the country. So we are not going to write it or tap it, but we will choose from the drop down. So we need to have a select, the custom select here to do. So let's go to, we are here. Okay, so we are going to create this select, custom select. So what we say here is export const select equal to this anonymous function. It will take props that we spread here. Okay, props, now propose. All right, so const field in the meta is equal to, we use field from formic. We use the same thing in the input, custom input we had it previously. So props, so it's the same thing here that we did here. Okay, all right, so here we return inputs, but here we are going to return a select. This here we are going to return select. So we say return select. All right, so the selector has many options. The first of all, let's say name is equal to field.name. We did that before, and also the value will be the feed dot value. Here it is, and unchanged will be, we have a two data. Okay, so this is a function. So we say field dot unchanged. You see, field has unchanged property, data dot value. Okay, there's something that is wrong here. Value is not supposed to be inside here. Let's take it from here. It should be outside. Okay, here. Okay, and after that, we are going to spread the rest of the feeds. So 1, 2, 3. See field. We spread also the rest of the props. So 1, 2, 3 props. Okay. Then after that, now we are going to add the class to beautify this select component. So we say equal. Then it will be dynamic. There will be dynamic classes. So we add the backtick first. We say the width should be full. That is 100%. And the padding Y, that is a top and bottom, should be 2. And the 2, that is a 0.5 rem or 8 pixel. Okay, it should be yes. And after that, we'll say px10. So px10, as you can see, 2.5 rem. All right, that is the padding left and right. And the border, there should be a border. We put a 2, not 23. It's true. We have a rounded MD background slate dash 100. Okay, and when it is focused, that means we have click the select components, then the background should be white. All right, and after that we add the dynamic classes. So what we are saying here is the same thing that we said here. If meta.text, we said in our previous lesson that this meta that we get from use fields, hook has text and error, properties. Okay, so meta.text or meta.error. So we are going to use the same thing here. So that means if we have touched the selected components, then and there is an error, that means we did choose anything, then it should show an error. So we say meta.text and meta.error. All right, so if we attach it and there's an error, it will show this class, or this class should apply. And what is this class? It should be border rate 600. So we have this class there. Okay, and if it is not if there's no error, or we have not yet attached it, the border should be slate 300, slate 300, like this. And the outline should be 1. Outline 1, and the outline color should be, I think we have it here. So we'll tap this. Okay, let's just copy this and press here. Okay, all right, let's take the shortcuts. All right, it is already here. We don't have to tap it in over and over. Okay, and after that, we are going to add here the children. So we say props dot children. So the children will be the options children. Okay, so this is our custom select components that we have successfully created. After that, we are going to create the add post page. So we do that in our next lesson. Thank you, and see you. Hello friends, welcome back. Now in this video we add the add post page on this website. Then we'll be able to add new posts to the database instead of depending on or using this where it is data. What is it that folder? Yes, the dummy data. We don't want to be using dummy data because it is a news app, so the data should be taken from the database. So we are going to add post page. So we go to pages. This is pages. Okay, we go to post, and here we have the file that we call add post. So add post.js. Okay, like usual, say RAFC, and we created this page. Now we go to our page, there's a file, and we set up the routes for the add post. So we copy this down, and here we say create post, and we call it add post. All right, so whenever we have here in the address bar, we say create, oh my god, post, and okay, so we have add post. Okay, so now let's go to add post. All right, and like usual, we are going to surround it with layout components, and we go here, layout. We have not imported layout, so let's import layout. Okay, this imported. Now we'll go. All right, so we have this highlight on the left, on the right rather, and okay, so we are here now. We want to add our elements components, say elements, so that we have a title element. In the element we have title. In the title we say create post dash. What am I doing here? Let me remove these braces here. They're supposed to be there. Yes. Okay. Create post glory info. All right. So that is how it is supposed to be. Okay. And so after the element, we are going to now add this div of a class. The width should be 80%. Okay, the width should be 8%. Margin bottom, let's say padding bottom should be 824. Okay, padding x5. Shadow MD. In background white. Margin bottom 5. Okay, and margin on the axis should be auto. Okay, this one here, and rounded should be aimed. Okay, so this is the overall div. After this div, we want to have now formic. Let's import formic. That's we had it in our previous lesson. So this is a formic. We import it from formic. Let's go and see where it is. This is formic. Okay, so in this formic we have this curly braces and this another one again, and we did structure, you know, some properties from there. So we return this, which is what's supposed to be a form that is also imported from formic. All right, so this form we design it. So the class should be WF full, that is 100%, should be flex, but the flex direction should be column, so flex col, and the gap between the field, let's say the input should be full. Okay, so after that, after this form, now we are going to start to add the different inputs. So let's add the first one, say div. This div class name is we say if it is a medium screen, should be flex, and gap, I like gap business too much, gap 3. Okay, so within this we add our input component that we created, that is the custom input. So this custom inputs, we have the type, which is a test, name, which is title. Okay, and the placeholder is equal to Intel enter story title, and unchanged will be unchanged. Okay, so what we need to do, let us first add the initial value for this, means the form that the post we have. So we say initial value. This the way we did in the sign in and sign up pages. So initial values. Here we have an object. So the first thing that a post should have is a title. Here it is an empty string for now. After the title, we have a description. After the description, we have the type of the post. It can be of text, it can be of images, it can be also a video. Okay, we have the author, the person who wrote the post. So we have the post there. We also say external extern URL. Is if, for example, the post is taken from another website, we want the link, the URL node to be taken into account also category, so that we'll be able to redirect the readers to that website to read the entire story. Okay, so also the country the story is about. So this is the initial value. So what we need to do now, we need to add also the states. Let's say cons post set post. Let's call it a post data, and set post data equal to use states that we import from React, and we add this initial values. Okay, and the same way we did in the sign in sign up components, we are going to destructure this value. So what we are going to do is copy them. Okay, because we are lazy, and we press them here and we remove this empty stuff. Remove this. Control D. Okay. All right. So we can do that with Control D, and so this should be equal to what? Post data. So we have the structure of cons. Wow, cons. Okay, so we have this structure, this thing from post data, and we also need to add what is called unchanged. So we say handle change. First of all, say const handle change e, and then we spell handle correctly by adding e here. So we say const. We have done this many times. Const name and the value is equal to what? E dot targets. The target is the input you are targeting. Okay, so we are going to say set the post data. All right, we spread the value of the post data first, and we say name should correspond to the value. So any value that we have, we should assign it to the name of this target, which is the input. Okay, so we go down here now. We say after the placeholder, you can say unchanged equal to handle change. All right, so we also need to add the value. Yes, here the value should be the title that we destructure. Title like this. Okay, so if there's not error, let's go see what we have here. Initial value is not okay. I always make mistake here. I don't add const, as if this initial value already exists. It's now I am creating this variable which is an object, so there should be a const here, because if you don't want to change the reassign it, you use const, but if it should be reassigned, you use let. But I always make this mistake. I don't add const there, as if the value already exists. So that is why we keep having this error. So this is it. We have the first input. This is it's an inter-story title. Okay. Now what we need to do, this is not beautiful at all, because we did not add a title to the and new post, add new post. So after this, before from it, we say h1 and we say add a new post. Okay, let's go see it how it look like. All right, so we center this. So we add class name, say test center. Oh, you don't know how to spell center, my son. Matching bottom 5. The text should be a little bit big to excel, and the font should be bold. All right, so let's go and see what we have. Okay, this is what we have in the matching bottom. Let's see, matching white should be 5. Let me see, why is the bottom alone? Oh, yes, matching. Okay. No, that is not what I want. I don't want the margin. I want the padding. Let me see the padding. Okay, very good. And this should be teal. No, I don't like black. Not because I don't like black, but let the app be uniform. Okay, so instead of the text being black, let it be let's use the same color that we have been using. That is a text teal 800. Okay, that's what we will be using. Let's take 700 here. Okay, so I think it is beautiful like this. You can, if it wants, you can even add increase the font size maybe by 2 XL. That it is your choice. Okay, so add new post. So in the next lesson, we are going to continue to add the rest of the input. Thank you, and see you later. Welcome back, friends. In this video, we are going to create a custom text editor. Let's say rich text editor. Okay, we want to be able to format the story as we send it to the database. Okay, we cannot use the text area here because text area does not have for the formatting capability. So that is why we are going to use a custom text editor, right? A rich text editor. So to do that, we need to install some components or some packages rather, and to say npm install. The first package that we need to install is called drafts. Okay, so we say install drafts. We install draft dot convert, and we install react dash draft dash, how it is called, WYSIWY, and you press enter, it will install. So the 3 packages, you need to have them. Okay, you should install them. Okay, I have already installed them. Okay, all right, so you should have these 3 packages here. I don't know if this spelling is correct. Let me check it again. WYSIWYG. Okay, that's correct. So install these packages. Okay, so after you are installed these packages, what we need to do now is to create a component that we call editor. So we go to the component folder, we create another component, another folder where we call editor. Okay, so in this editor, we are going to create a component. We call it editor.js. Here we say Rav. Okay, so in this editor, but instead of calling this editor, let's give it a name. Let's say draft editor. Okay, and also here let's write draft editor. So we have a draft editor here. We remove this here because it's not important. So let's import some packages from React drafts WR. I don't even read this. You can read this. We see wig. Okay, I don't know. So we import the editor from here. Okay, so it is okay that it is imported. And also this CSS file we need also to import. Let me break it there. So yeah, we have it here. Okay, and okay, that's it. So here we return this editor that we imported. This editor, and this editor is a self-closing component tag. It's okay. So we have some props that we need to break in here. All right. So first of all, we have editor states. Editor state, and also on editor state change. On editor state change. Okay. So the prop that we have here. So we say editor states. We say editor states. Why is it? Should be equal to editor states that we have here. Let me copy and paste it. Okay. So, and we have on editor state change. We'll copy this also. We'll paste it here. And we have another prop that is called wrapper class name. So in this wrapper class name, we will add these classes. We'll say py, padding 4, that is 2 pixel. Let me see, verify it. Should not be lying here. Okay, it's not showing. So padding 1, 2 pixel. We'll verify that a bit later. So we have border gray 300. After that, we have another prop that we call editor class name. Editor class name. So in the editor class name, we say bg gray 200, value 4, border gray 300. So border gray 300. All right. So this is what we have. Okay. So what we need to do now, we need to go back to post. Now add this postcards. We remove this postcard and add post. Okay, we go to add post. Now we continue to, we continue to design it. Okay. So after this div, what is div here? After this div, before the closing, this is the closing tag of the font, we add another div. Okay. We add this div. In this div, we bring in our drafts editor that we created. Okay, and you remember this draft editor has 2 props. So we have editor state. We have not yet created it here. We also have on editor state change. We have not also created it yet. So let's see. Again, what is this? Comment it out in. Let's go and see what we have here. Nothing is appearing. Let me see if it's still compiling. Okay, finish compiling. And what do we have here? Nothing is still appearing. Let's reload this and see. Problem? Okay, there's a problem. There is a problem. Oh, yes, there's no problem. What? Delay. You need to be patient with some time with these things. So this is our richness editor. All right, so this is where we will add our, the description of the posts. All right, so we have the title, the external URL, we have the author name, we have here the start of the posts, we have the countries, we have the categories, and also here a description. All right, so this is the design. All right. And let me see how it will look like if we are in a small size screen. So let's go this, take this. All right, and here, okay, let's reduce it. Okay, all right, this is how it will be. It is nice. Okay, beautiful. All right, the problem that we have now is the distance between these 2 guys. Let's do this and this and this. We need to have a distance there. Okay, so we go back here. This first div. All right. Okay, let's leave it like this. We can have the class in here, and so we say margin bottom. Let me see. Let's go input. The custom input here. We can have the margin bottom here. Is it there? Okay, let's see how it will look like. Margin bottom just 1 or 2. And we add the same thing here. I hope it will not be very ugly. If it is, we'll remove it there. Okay, let's imagine bottom. Let's go and see it now. Okay, I think it's alright. Okay, that means it is group. This one are together, these two are together, these two are together. All right. So what we need to do first also is to increase this, as it is short this. So to increase this, let's go and check here. All right. We need to know what class we need to use to act on here to increase it. So let's choose this. We'll come here. This is it here. So we have this class, draft editor root. Is that the one? Draft editor root. Let me see this. I think this, yes. RDW editor. Okay, that is the label. Okay, let's go to Visual Studio Code. Here in the editor, we had a file that we call editor.css. Editor.css. In this editor .css, we are going to take this arrow dw edit let's say dash main. Okay, let's give it a height because we have there 100%. Let's see 400 pixel, and we say it is important. Okay, and we'll come here. We import this this file. We'll say dash. Okay, and we'll go back. Okay, it is the one. So it has increased a bit. That's what I wanted. How do I close this? All right. Okay, so this is our text editor that we have increased. So in the next video, we are going to add the different functionality. Thank you for watching. Okay, hello friends. Before we add the functionality for this component, this crude form that we have created, we need to add a button. We go to Visual Studio Code. Let me address this here a bit on the right. Okay, so we come here. So where is add post? Let's close this. We don't need it now. We'll close this. This also. So we have in the here add posts. So we add posts after this div that has the draft editor. We are going to add the button. So say button, and this button, the type is what? Submit. Say type submit. All right, and say create posts. Okay, so go there. What do we have? Where is the button? It is. All right, so let's design this button. So we say class name. We have the class name here. We want it to be w full. Okay. The text to be center. Padding y2. Rounded MD. And the margin top 5. Okay, so let's see. All right. So it does not have the background for now, but this background will be added dynamically. So let's add this curly braces and add the back tick and remove this code. This one also. Now here, what do we see? We had this dynamic classes. All right. So before we add these dynamic classes, we need to destructure some values here. We did the same thing in the sign up and sign in pages. So here we have a type of control space. Okay, so we have dirty errors. This is our props that that are in the form. Okay, the form is valid and is submitting. So this prop 2 value that we are going to use, these two objects. So we are saying that where is the button? Button, where are you? Here we say if the form is not valid, that means that we have tested it, but there are some errors, some feeds that are not fail. If it is submitting, that means we have pressed the button and the data is being processed. Okay, we want this class. If not, we want this class. So this class are conditional. So the first one is background should be gray, 400. The text to be black, the cursor to be not allowed. Okay, but if that's not the case, then we want the background to be teal. See how much? 800. All right, and the text to be white. Like that. Okay, so let's go. You see it. All right, this is our button. Okay, for now there's no validation. This is how it will appear. So create the post. So what we need to do now, we are going to add the validation system. So we go back here now. We import at the beginning. We are going to import not yup. Say import all as yup from yup. All right. After this, we say const validates equal to yup dot objects. So we have an object here. So what are we going to validate? We are going to validate the title. Let's bring them here. We're not going to validate everything. There are some fields that are optional. For example, the external URL. It's not all stories that require external URL. So we are not going to validate this. We validate the title. The description is not false, because if the type is image or video, then this description is not mandatory. It's also optional. So the rest of them, we are going to validate them here. So we remove this string. We say yup dot string as we did it say require. That the same thing that we did in a sign up component. So we copy this, we paste it here. We're not going to add custom test error messages, so we leave it like this. All right, so require, the country is required, the category is required, the author is the author required. Yes, it is required. The type is required, and the title is required. So that is the validate. So we go to where? To yup. Now yup for big, we'll say initial, enable this, enable reinitialize. After that, we'll say validation schema. The validation schema will be this validate that we created here. And after that, we say initial values. So initial value, it is this thing that we destruct, take this, copy them, we add them here. All right. So we have title, we have the description, type, author, external URL, category, and country. So if everything goes well, and it should show an error if we click and we do right into the error. Title is required fields. This one is not validate, so there will be no error. Here we'll say author should be okay. Category, okay, category. Okay, that's the error. Okay, it's an error, so we validate the type. We see. All right, so, but we have a problem. The problem is, it did, spoil the whole form. It is no longer interesting. This is not beautiful. So we can either bring this message here. Okay. Under this thing. Or we can remove it from there totally. Okay. So we do that in our next video. Thank you for listening, and see you later. Okay, hello friends, welcome back. This is where we left off. You see this error. It is not interesting. It distracted the layout of the page. Okay, we want the error to appear down here. You see how this increase become wider like this. This also, you see. Actually, to be honest, this is not interesting. So what we need to do now, we need to work on this, and the solution is very simple. We'll go back to the input. Okay, this input first. We have here the fragment, but instead of a fragment, we have a div like this, and we'll say, but if we have a div like this, and we go back, this is what we have, so it does not solve the problem. Okay, let's reload. Okay, you see now this one is longer than this. So what we need to do is to say class name w full. Okay, so now it is 100%. So let's see what we have. Okay, it is okay. So we are seeing the error that it is showing here. Okay. So the error that is showing here. All right. But this is big and this is small. And this also it should show an error message here. Okay, so we go back here. The select, we need to surround selector with a div We also say w full. So we'll take this div, we cut it from here, we have it at the ends here. All right, let's see. Okay, a bit solve the problem, but this message, there's no message here. So what we need to do, we need to copy it here from here, meta.touch and the meta.error and the error. Oh wow, what did that do? Sorry, copy here and put it after the select and press it here. Okay, so what do we have now? All right, so I think it is it's good, it's perfect like this. I see this to be bigger than this, let's say taller than this. Okay, the heights, this is small, this is big. Why is it like this? I don't know. Pivot2, let's say pivot3 and see why it gives. Pivot3 is too much. This one bigger than this. So let's say pivot 2.5, if that exists. I think it does exist. Yes, it is. So in C again. Good. All right, they are now equal. This is correct. It's all right, like that. All right, so the message is appearing here. Okay, the bottom. Now the layout is good. Let's go to smaller screen. Well, mobile size. Okay, it is perfect. I love it. All right, and now we look at the. Let me close this. With these errors, we look at the button. It appears like this, and you see the arrow. The cursor is not allowed, so we cannot press this. Okay. And one more thing that we need to add here to the button. Let's go to add posts. Is to disable the button if there is an error or the button data is being submitted. So let's take these two things, copy it. So say here disable is equal to these two guys. If the feed is not valid, it should be disabled, or if the data is being submitted, it should also be disable. All right, and here we can also add a custom message. So if, for example, it's submitting, we should have a message. If it is not submitting, we should have this, which is create a post. So you can see here, creating post dot. All right, like this. So we go there. Now it is not submitting, so we have this. All right, so we will continue in our next lesson. In this next lesson, we are going to work on the API, the backends, to add story to Firebase. If our internet allow it, because I don't believe my internet tonight. I don't know how it is. I have a problem with connection problem. Okay, so see you in the next video. Thank you. Okay, so before we go to the back end, we work on our API. We need to work first on this draft editor. You see this, we commented out this props. Okay, editor states and on editor state change. We need to work on that. So let's go to the bottom here. Okay, and to the bottom. After this endo change, we are going to create a states cons in parentheses, yeah, non parentheses, but square brackets. We say editor states. Okay, and we say set editor state is equal to use state. Okay, we import it from React. And this we have a callback function. We return editor state dot create empty. All right, like this. Okay, here that we import it from drafts. Oh, if there's an error, we correct that from drafts. That's the draft.js that we install here. Let me see if we have draft.js here. If there's an error, we correct it. So draft.js. So we have editor state.empty. All right. So that's the state that we have created, and after that we are going to create the handle change. So we'll say const handle editor change. This equal to here we have a state as a argument, set editor state, and we pass the state. And after that we call a function that we'll create later. That is let's call it convert content to HTML. So we are going to convert content to HTML. So let us create this function here down here. We'll say const, let me copy this. Okay, it doesn't take any argument. So what we say here, we'll say let current content as HTML is equal to convert to HTML. Unless we draft that converts. Okay, so this one we take editor states. So editor states dot, we say get current contents. Okay, do this, get current contents. Now after that, now we say set post data. This data, we take the previous states, so previous states, and spread the previous states, and we say description that we have here, and we assign current contents as HTML. All right. So the content that we get from this editor, it will be given to the description that we have here. This description. Okay. So now we go to editor, draft editor. Now we uncomment this. We see editor state will be what? Editor states. And on editor change will be handle editor change. Alright, let's refresh and see if everything goes well. Okay, so in the formic we have another prop that is onSubmit. onSubmit equal submit post. We are going to create submit post function here. So we say const submit post is equal to, this will be async. Let me highlight that before I forget. Let me bring it there. Async. But for now, let us see what we have. Let's see console log post data. Let's see if it is working properly. So we go here. Let me see if we are okay. It's all right. So the title politics. I take this URL. Oh, there's an error here. It's not supposed to be like that. Senegal type is test. So let's go correct this. It's a problem. Here we have, where is it? URL. Okay, this value. So it will be author. So let's go back there. Okay, so this author, let's give my name. I'm in the author. Okay, now let's problem. What is the problem here? Our source. Okay, hello friends, welcome back. We have successfully installed draft-js. So it's not a draft, it's a draft-js that we need to install. Okay, so but still we still have a problem. When we click here, we have an error. Let's go back and correct this error. Now let us come to the draft editor. Okay, we talk about this, what the state says here. We say editor.get immutable instance of function. So maybe that means that there's a problem with the states get current content instance of function. So let's go back to editor. All right, so this is, I think it is the problem. It is not on content state change. It is on editor state change. So let's see on editor state change. All right, so it is not on content state change. It's on editor state change. Okay, so that is the first thing. So let's go back there now. Remove this. You can click there. So it is now, it's no longer throwing error. Okay, so that was one of the problems. Okay. Okay, so in the second problem, where is this input, we have on change like this, capital C. All right, so reload and see what we have. Okay, so let's close this. And let's not close it now because we want to see it. Console in the console, if we fill up, let's remove this. So the title, okay, politic, this URL, the author, the country, we choose any country, the type of video, and we'll say this is the description, and we'll send it. Okay, so we have this. So author, this is the author that we enter. Category is it's the country, the description. So that means that this editor was hooked to the description, and external URL, the title, and the tab is test. So it means that the form is working. Okay, the value we enter will be sent. So we go now to backend. We need to work on this backend. So we continue that in our next video. Thank you. Welcome back. Now we need to work on our backend, the Firebase. So we go to API. We have off here. We had another folder that we call posts. So in this post, we are going to create a file that we call posts api.js. All right. So since post API job, we create a function, say export const create dash post is equal to, this should be a sync. All right. So this will take a post as a argument parameter. So let's bring this down. So what we need to import, we need to import the get auth from Firebase auth. We also need to import set doc for Firebase Firestore. We need to install doc also. Now what we do here, this function, still first of all throw any cache. So here you see const of equal to get of. We need this so that we can center our data. But for now, we use get of, but for now we were not going to use it. Well, we also need to import, let's say, our database, import db from this Firebase. So what we see here is await, because there is a promise await set doc. We explain set doc, the difference between set doc and add doc. The set doc, we provide ourselves the ID. So doc, the document reference that takes 3 parameters. We have a database DB, also the collection that we call here posts. We have the collection we want to provide the ID. So this ID, we'll say it is equal to post.id. All right. And after that, now we are going to send the data, which is this post that we have over there. And if there is an error, we want to throw that error to the form where we will handle it. So say throw error. Okay. So this is the back end. Let's we don't need this for now. Okay, so we have created a post. Now let's go to the form. So the page add post here. So where we have this, where is it? Submit post, handle submit post. So instead of console logging this, we are going to say try cache same way here. First of all, we need to prepare the post that will be sent to the database. So how will we prepare it? We have not done upload the image functionality yet. That we do that later. But for now, we are going to send the post with add image. All right. We add the image later. We'll do that functionality later. But for now, what we are going to do, we are going to prepare the post that we want to add. That means it's because there are some properties that we need to add. Okay. The first thing is a slug. We don't have a slug here. But the slug will derive from this title. So what we need to do is say const slug is equal to the post data dot title. Okay. Dot replace all. Okay. So what we need to do here, what we are saying here, every in a title you have a space. For example, you say okay, when you give a title or lesson, or say the president has traveled abroad. So between president and has there's a space, and between has and travel there's a space. But we don't want to have this space in the slug. So this space, we replace it with dash. So the reason we are using replace all, because if you say replace, it will only replace the first space. The rest of the spaces, it will not replace them. So when you say all, that everywhere when you see space in the title, you replace it with this dash. Okay. Now you also will say again replace all. If in a title we have this forward slash, we want it to be removed and to be replaced, to be removed totally. Okay. Why? Because the slug will be in the address bar, and in the address bar, this is forward slash has a different meaning, so the app can be confused. Okay. So we are going to remove the forward slash, and if there's a space, we want also we want to remove it also. Okay. And so that is how the slug will be. So that is the slug. And after that, now we are going to prepare our post. So say const post is equal to this objects. Okay. So we will spread the post data. That means all the value of the post data. So after that, all the value, we add the slug. After this log, we add likes. Now we don't have like, but we want to prepare the like. So like will be empty array. We also have a comments, because that we add a later array. We can also say count like, or likes count. So for now it is 0. Let's say likes count, like count. We have also comments count, which is equal to 0. That created at. So all these values are not added by the author of the posts, but they are added dynamically. Okay. So this is that we can see they are a default value. Okay. Default values. So this is how the post will be. Alright, and there's something that we need to add also here is the ID, because in our API we use set post, so we need to add the ID here. Okay, but the post does not have the ID for now, so we are going to install a ID. Okay, so we want to install a package that is called a UID. So let's go say npm install UUID. Is this correct? Let me check it's good first. Okay, it is correct, UUID. And don't we have it here installed already? We don't have it. So say npm install UUID. Okay, the UUID is installed. So we go back to what is it? Post, add post. So we say we import UID here on top here. We say imports, say imports v4 from UID. So the v4 we are going to call it. Alright, so okay. We go down here. We say this ID is equal to UID. Alright, let me see UID 4 from Firebase. This is what I'm the first instance. So if this is let's see console log, if you can create let's see if this compiles. So let's go back to here and try to send this. We have not even called it. Okay, so after this now we say await, say create underscore post. Okay, so this it take post. Alright, and here we add the message of the error. So say error dot message. Okay, now we go back here. So this is the first post I created. And the category will be politics. The URL, yes, country, Benin, tab tests. Okay, I have created a new post in the database. Okay, so we press here. Okay, friend, my internet connection will be re-established. So let's go and try again to send this data. So here we are going to write the dates. You say that's the date, the title. So for example, this is the title of the story. We'll select the category here. We have the URL, author. This is my name. Country. Let's take this country randomly, and the text as a type. Now here we just type something randomly there. For example, we can say this is the description of the story. All right, then we'll send by pressing this button. As you can see, okay, I think the data are be sent. So we go back to the Fire Store. Refresh this. All right, so this is what we have. We have a new collection be added here, which is posts, and this is the ID that was created by using this where is it, URID that we imported here. Okay, we imported, or is it not this? This is what is, I'll comment out this. It is the v4 as UUID from UUID. So this is the data that we have. So we successfully, send the data in the Firebase Firestore database. And now, for example, this is the author that we wrote down. This is the category of politics. The country that we chose was Mali. This is the dates. To this date, the description. This is a description of the story. The external URL. This ID. That's the same ID that is here. Okay, so once the story to have an ID, we have this document ID, and the story itself has an ID. Okay, this is like it's empty. As like comment empty array. Like also is an empty array. The count is 0, and this is the title of the story. As you can see, this log. We have dash between the words. That means the space that is the title will be replaced by this dash, okay, or the hyphen. So that is what we want to have. But we do not only send a story like this in when it is a news app. We need to have some pictures sent to the storage. This is the storage, okay. So, but for now we don't have any picture. This story has no image, okay. There are some stories that have image. So what if you want to send an image along with your story? One image or 2 or 3, 4 images, and that will accompany the story. What do you do? So that is what we are going to do next in our next lesson. Thank you. See you later. Hello friends, welcome back. In this video we are going to upload images in the Firebase storage. So before that, what we need to do is to go to research and see how to upload image to Firebase storage. So we take this link, but before we do that, let's first of all go to Visual Studio Code in the API folder. In this API folder we are going to create, you see you have the auth, you got the posts, but we are going to create another folder called image or images. In this images folder, we are going to create a file that we'll call upload image or images.js. All right, so this is the backend that we want to create. Okay, this app we connect to Firebase Firestore. So you see export const store image. All right, so this function we take two arguments, two parameters. We have image and the path, okay? And we do like this. All right. So it will return a new promise. It will return a new promise. All right. You know, the promise has a callback function that has two arguments. We have resolve if everything goes well, and we are also reject if there is an error. All right. So this is the callback function with those two arguments. So let's go back to Firebase uploads. Now, what we need to do, we are going to, which one we will choose here, or show how you can upload the image to the Firebase storage. So let us take this, we'll copy all this stuff, and we go to backend, and we press everything here, okay? And we change those things that need to be changed. First of all, let's remove these commented lines. So we have here, say, const storage equal get storage. All right. So this get storage need to be imported from Firebase storage. Okay, it is not imported, so we need to go up there and import it manually ourselves. So we say import from Firebase storage. Okay. So what we want to store here, we say get storage. This is get storage. After go to storage, we are going to import ref from Firebase storage. After that, we are going to import upload by resumable, and we also want to import get download URL. This is it here. Okay, these are all functions. So this image takes two arguments, image and path. It returns a promise that has a callback function with two arguments, resolve and reject. So here what do we see? We see const storage equals to get storage that we imported from Firebase storage. All right. So this is Firebase storage. All right, and it's of this type. Now we'll see const storage ref is equal to ref that we imported from Firebase storage. Okay, this is a reference. Okay, and it takes the storage that is here, that is a Firebase storage, and it takes the path. All right, but the path that we have here, this is a hard-coded path. That is why we take this path that is in our function, we put it here. Okay, this is the path. So we see const upload task equal to upload by resumable, and here we have a storage ref, that is storage ref here, and a file. But here we have the image, so we take image, all right, and we'll put it here. All right, then we'll say upload task on, that takes also three arguments. First, this events, that is state change, and this callback function. All right, snapshot, which is of type upload task snapshot. Okay, let's remove this commented out lines. We see const progress equal to snapshot dot byte transfer divided by snapshot dot total byte, everything multiplied by hundreds. Okay, so this allow you to control how the upload is be done. Okay, so here for example, you have console log upload is progress, this progress here that you have here, % done. So this is, you can see this in the console. Okay, now see switch snapshot.state, you have case it's closed, you want to console log this. If it is running, you want to console log this. Okay, so that is the snapshot. But if there is an error, okay, we want to process something here. All right, so if there's an error, for example, we can say console log error dot message, want to console log the error. All right, but if there's none error, if everything goes well, what we want to do, let's remove this as well. Well, we have this objects function get downloads URL that takes the uploads.snapshot.ref, and we have this because it's a promise, then uploads, it will return this. Okay, so what we want to return here is the download URL, because we want to send this download URL to the Firebase Fire Store. All right, so what we need to do after this, we say reserve and downloads URL. Okay, so this will return this download URL back to the function. All right, so this is the, let's say this is the back end. All right, we use this to connect it to Firebase. Then we'll be able to upload the image on Firebase storage. Okay, so we continue in our next video. Thank you. Welcome back, friends. In this video, we are going to create another component that we call image preview. This component will help and will allow us to select the image that we want to send and also to view the image that is selected. Okay, let's go in a folder, component folder. We have here folder, and we write, we'll create this folder. Let's call images. In the images folder, we want to create a file called image preview. So we'll say image preview.js. All right, so this image preview, we want 2 or 3 props. We have the images because we want to be able to select as many images as possible. So the images is not only one image. So set images and also handle images. So these are the 3 props that we want to have here. So here, this div, we are going to add the Tailwind CSS classes. So h, that is the height, will be 200 pixel. All right, the border to overflow y hidden. All right, so we don't want any overflow to show outside of this box. Border should be gray 500, and the background should be slate 200 rounded MD related. Okay, so we fill this div. We open another div. Okay, so see that. Okay, this div, you have create place item center. So we want items to be center. All right, and we want the height to be filled. That is 200 because the parent div height is 200. So what we need to do now, we want to create an input. This input, it is not just input, but it is a file input. So input, say file. All right, so this file will allow us to select the image. So the tab is file. All right, this should accept images. Okay, so if you send different thing that is not image, it will not accept it. So let me paste this images, image JPEG format, JPG format, GIF format, PNG or WebP format. So that's images that it will accept. We want to be able to upload multiple images, and it should be hidden. We don't want people to see it. And if you can see it, how do we press it? So we are going to create here what's called use ref. Okay, so we say const image ref equal to use ref. So hook that we import for React, and for now it is null. Okay, so now we come to the inputs. We say ref is equal to image ref that we created up there. Okay, now we have on change. It will be that we have here image change. Okay, so it's called image change. Handle image. Okay, let me copy and paste it. Okay, handle change. All right, so this is the input. Okay, this is the input. Let's see if I can format this. Okay, so the tab is a file. Let's remove this because it is the only inputs we have here. Multiple hidden in like this. Okay, so right after this input, we are going to loop over the images that we have here as a props. So say images dot, first we say if there are images. Okay, and the images dot length is greater than 0. That means we have images here. We have selected 1 or more images. Okay, so in that case, we want to return this. If there's no image selected, we want to return this. Okay, so what do we have here? We have, for example, let's say, first of all, this empty tag called fragments. All right, so this fragment, we have a div. The first thing that we know have here, it is the class name. They have the class name there. All right, and to save time, go to press this here. So This should be the class absolute, red 1, top 1, bg gray, that is the background, rounded full, padding x 0.5, padding y 0.5, shadow to XL, and text should be white with a cursor that is a pointer. Alright, so this div, when we click this div, we want to call this function called set images. And what is this set images? The set images is these props that we have here. It looks like Visual Studio Code is having a problem. Okay, so within this div, we want to bring in this icon, AR, outline, close, circle. Alright. So let's import this. Let me see if we can import this. Alright, so let's go import it manually. So we say import from React icons AI. And so what do we import? It's this that we are going to import. We'll press it here. Alright, so after we have done that, after this stuff, we had another div here. So in this div, we say, okay, I need to restart this Visual Studio Code because it's like it has a problem. Then after that, we are going to continue. Okay, welcome back. We will continue to design our image preview component. So after this div, okay, let me take this as well, put it here. We have the height is 200 overflow while scroll, and we have a custom scroll. Okay, flex wrap, padding left 3, and padding right 3, and gap 3, py 3. Okay, where is this custom scroll coming from? I'll show it later. Okay, but let's finish with this first. Okay, so we will look over the images in this div. So we say images.map, we have image, and you have the index. So this will return this image that will have the source of this image. And let us design this. Alright, class name will be a dynamic class. Say in the backtick, if images.length is greater than 1, that means it's not one image. Okay, we want this class to apply. But if you have more than one images, we want this class to apply. But besides those two classes, we want this class to apply whatever is one image or more than one image. That is what object cover. Alright, so what is image that will be here? We want the width to be 48%, the height few, but if it is not one image, we want the width to be few. If it is only one image, we want width to, the height to be few also. But what if there is no image? That means that we have not yet selected the image. So this div should be returned. Okay, but this also need to be started. So there's a grid, place item center, and the cursor should be a pointer. Okay, so in this div, we want this IO photo. Alright, of size should be 34. Okay, let's close this and go up to imports IO. Bring this down, IO photo. So IO photo, and this also should be, the size should be 34. Okay. Visual Studio Code is not cooperating at all. I think it needs another kick. Okay, expand, so add photo or videos. We copy this down and say R, drag and drop. Alright, so this is our component, the image preview. Okay, but what will this image preview component be? Let's go to, it is here already. It is in the add post components. Okay, it's a page, the add post page. That is where we are going to place that component that we just created. Okay, so let's go down to after these guys, after this draft editor, we added another div. Okay, within this div now, we say image preview that we import for components. Remember, this has 3 props. Okay, the images, the set images, and this handle image. So we have images. We create that images that will be states that will create up. We have a set images that also set images. All right, we also have handle images image here. So see handle images. What is this? Images. All right, so we go up there. We are going to create these two states in one function. So here after this states sequence images set images is equal to use states. All right, so this will be an empty array. Okay, so after the handle change, we want to handle the images. So it's like this. All right, so let's go to see if there's no error in what we have done. So it is compiling. All right, we have error here. We say set image. I don't know, it's going to be set. Let me see, set image, set images. So it should be set images because it is not only one image that will be set. Here, the mistake is here, set images. Okay. And what again? Is there any other error? What is it? Say the package icon. Let's say React icon. Okay. Say image. So we can do this ROMD image. Okay, we have ROMD image. Okay, let's take this. Okay, I say BR images. Let's go here. Say BR images. We'll put them here. Say BR, and we'll go down here. Right here, BR. All right, and you go back. What will you say? Another error? Oh, okay. This React icon. React icons. All right, that was the error. Okay, sorry for that. My bad. Okay, let's go here. Okay, we have this is it's okay. So we have here the description, the text editor. Now here, this is where okay. So this div will say on click. We want to return this. We want to call this function. We'll say image ref. You know, remember that we created a reference here, image ref. Let me copy it. Say image ref dot current dot click. All right, so like this. So what we are saying here is if we click on this div, the click event should call, you know, this HTML element that has this reference. Okay, so when you click this, whatever actions will take place, the element that has this ref should be the one be concerned. I should do that. Okay, so what is the, when we have here, we see our, let's say, input, this input, file input, we have this ref. So if we click this, okay, this thing will trigger, the input will trigger. This is the reference. So that's what the use reference is for. So we go back there now, refresh this, then we click. All right, so you see now we have this thing opening. That is the, because so we got to desktop, we look for image that we want to place here in this preview. Okay, but we have not done that, but we have already created this. And in the next video, we continue. Thank you. Okay, welcome back. In this video, we are going to continue to build our image preview, or let's say add post page. So what we need to do now, let's go to add post. We are going to work on the handle image function. Okay, handle images. We are going to work on it. Now, for now, it is empty. Okay, so at the top here, we have images and set images. And I want to create another state. Let's say I will call it file array, files array, and this one set files array. Now files array. All right, so I go here now. Okay, so in this endo image, what we need to do, where is endo image? All right, what we need to do here, we say light files is equal to array dot from e dot targets dot files. All right, this e are the targets and an object that is called files. Why? Because we are dealing with here file inputs. It's not a text input, it's a file input. That is why we have files here. All right, so what we say files dot for each. Oh, they don't know spelling for each. We want to take the image. Okay, then before that, let's create a variable here. Let's see light file. Let's say image files equal to the empty string. Okay, so say the file we created here, files dot for each image files push this image that we have here. Very first thing. After that, we want to set the file array. Say we put the images 5. So that means the file array contains the images file that also contains the image that is here. All right, but this is an array, so the image, if there's 2 images, then they will have 2 here. You see, because we are pushing it in this variable, this object, this array. Okay, so after that, we go to the file reader. Const reader equals to new file reader. This is a JavaScript object. So reader dot read as data URL. It will take image as a argument. All right, so after that, we say reads onloads. Reader dot onloads. Right, that will load the images. Okay, is equal to ev. Right, just to change. So we say now set images. All right, image imgs. It will return this img, that is the previous images that are there, img. So we spread imgs. Then we'll add ev dot targets dot result. Okay, so this is a handle image function that we have created. Okay, let me bring this up so that we see it, we know that it exists. All right, so it is up there. So this is a image handle image function that we created. This is the object that we created. It's it here. This is what we have unchanged. All right, where is it? Image preview. That means that if everything goes well, we select an image, the image will show display in this this div. All right, so let us try that if it is working. So we take this image, see open, you see the image is shown here, so you know what image that you have selected. All right, and we want, when we click this icon, this image to get lost, to remove. Okay, that is what happened here. So let's reload this. Okay, where it is? Where is it rather? Close. No, that image preview. Set images to empty array. It would be empty array. Okay, so set image to empty array because we didn't put anything there. That's why you return null. All right, so we could put null there or empty array. That means that we remove every image in the states. Okay, so that's what just happened. All right, so what we need to do now is to send the image to the Firebase Firestore. That will be done in our next video. Thank you. Hello friends, welcome back. In this video, we are going to, send the images to the Firebase storage. Okay, so that is what we are going to do. Okay, so let's go to here to submit post, which is async. All right, and so we come here, we see light images image URLs. And something that I want us to do here is we have this slug. We say title replace every empty spaces or every empty space with this dash, okay, and forward slash with nothing. And also there's something that we need to replace. Say replace all every question mark with nothing. All right, and to that we should add this. Should add what? We should add date dot now dot. We should add it there. All right. Before instead of doing like this, let's take let's do like this. Put everything in the curly braces. Then in the back. No, not like that. Let's put in the back tick. Okay. And place them in the curly braces, and then here we put this dollar sign. So we have say post data dot title dot replace every empty space with dash, replace every forward slash with nothing. That means you should remove it, and you also replace every question mark with nothing. And after that you should add the date. So what we need to do here, let me close this thing here first. Close it here, and bring this guy and open it here. Okay, and we want to put a dash between them. All right. So this is it. So first of all, that we are creating this log. Okay. Now after this log, what do we see? First, what we did here, there was no image, but this time around we are sending the image. We are sending the image to the storage, and we want this image to be attached to this post. Okay, so the URL, the return URL of the image is to be sent along with the post. So what we are saying here is if there is an image, so say if file array, see file array, the state that we create for there, dot length is greater than 0. That means that if there is an image, whether it's 1, 2, or 3, so long as an image, what we want to do, we want this URL, image URL, this image, where is it? Image URL to be equal to await promise or promise dot all. Okay, and what do we have? We want to spread the file array, the files array. We spread it first like this, and we map over it, say file with k, and we call this we open this curly braces. Okay, first of all we want to compose the path. So say cons path is equal to, want the path will be like a posts forward slash images forward slash, let's put backtick here, backtick, because we want to put dynamic value there. So here we say dollar, and we open parentheses, then curly braces, we see this file. If it is non-null, add its name. So the file that we have, where is it? Here, this file. Okay, if you want, you can create in the parentheses. Okay, so if that is the path, okay, where the image will be stored. And after that, we'll return store image that we created earlier in the it's the API folder here. That is our backends. Is it here? Okay, image uploads. We created this function store image that we want to call. So we'll say return store image that takes 2 arguments. The first one is the file, the image that we have here, and also the path that we have just created. All right. All right, so after that, we come here, we see cache. If there's an error, we say error. We want to log the error. So we'll say could not upload image or images, because in this case we are going to upload more than one image. So we are seeing here, then return here, return. Since you could not upload, you should return. All right, so we have now this images array that will be added now to the post. So let's post after ID. I can see now images. We should call image URL. All right, so that means this we have now images URL and the rest of this data. Okay, so that is if file array dot length is greater than 0. That means they have. So let's take this and put there inside there. Take this and put it here in the if. Okay, so else we want to take the same thing, we'll put it here, but in this case we are going to remove the images there. That means this post has no image. All right, so wait a minute. Okay, this will put answer here. So create post. This also take it from the backend API here, also create. All right, so we have this. If there's an error, then it should console log the error. So we are going to try this to see if it works. First of all, let's see if we can compile. The compilation is done, so we have high hope. Now we go to the browser, and we try to add some stuff. The second title here, the category, we're taking economy. We're taking this. Still my name, country, let's take Liberia. Type, we'll say dash. I can say this story has more than one images. More than one images. So we are going to select the images. Let's just try this that we have here. Take these 3 images, this one also, this one. Okay, let's see if it works. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 images. Okay, this is not designed correctly, but we'll do that later. Okay, so let's try and send the data and see. First of all, let's open the console and press. See, it is written 100% uploaded. This file is available. That is the download URL. That is it here. So it looks like it are being uploaded. So we go to here. We have now 2 files. Okay. So the story, the post was added. We have economy. We see what the title gave for the second. Okay, you see the second title here. So this is now the news log, the second title here plus the date time that was added. Okay, it's the type of test. So how many images do we have here? We have this array of images. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 images that were added. So normally these images should be in there. If everything goes well, these images should be in here, the storage. So we click here, the storage. We have this folder created, posts. We click on posts. We have also the images. This is what we had. Let's go to, let's see, here. So the after post, we have images. After that, we should have the file name. So let's go and see if that is what is done. So after image, okay, we have the file name. Okay, so these are the file that we sent. So let's see if the file are where your image is. So we click here, and this is what we did. Okay, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay, so I don't know if there's let's see here. Okay, so let us look at this. What is this? Let me see. This address. Look at it and compare it. Oh, where do I go? Compare it to. Let's go here. Let's go to Firebase. All right, where is this one I'm talking about? So when you look at this and compare it to this one, Firebase Google API com VO0B Glory Info, so on. So we have here HTTP Firebase Storage Google API .com VOB Glory Info. So this is the download URL that is attached here. So that means when you are importing the story, or let's say you are calling the story, you can also call one of these images that are here. Okay, so that's the whole scenario, the whole concept. While the images are now stored here in the Firebase storage, as you can see here. So we have successfully added image to our we have successfully added a functionality or adding image functionality to our website. So we continue to build our website in the next videos that are coming. Thank you. Okay, friends, so welcome back. In this video, we are going to design this image preview. When you select the images, you see how ugly these things are. We want it to appear nice, and we added this class called custom scroll. All right, so this custom scroll, we need to let's go to index. Okay, this index. All right, this index. Then we add these classes. So we have custom scroll. If it's a WebKit or scroll bar tone, it should be what? Width 8 pixel, background this, and the radius 5. Okay, pixel. And yeah, you see, remove this country animate. It is not all right. So after that, paste this one also. Okay, so the body should have this scroll bar. Okay, so the scroll bar will change. What is this? It's not necessary. Okay, so we added this custom scroll. This one. Okay, the custom scroll is already there, so let us not add this one there. Okay, so remove this one there. Okay, so now in the image preview, the images are not appearing nice. The reason is we made a mistake here. It's a W. This is a custom value, so it should be in the curly brackets. Okay, like this. Then we are telling you Tailwind says that this is custom. That is what you see. We have width 45%. And let's go see what we have now. Okay, so you see. Okay, so we have this images like this because we have 45%. All right, so let's go and see, right? 50% will be all right, right? Or 47%. Increase it. You see. All right. Now look at the scroll bar. It's not different. Okay. That is the custom scroll bar. You can even add the same thing here. So this scroll bar will be like this. You see how it is nice compared to this, or compared to this.